Hey everybody, and this is the fourth time I've recorded this video because the first two times I did it, I didn't have my mic on. So I sat here talking to myself for 20 minutes without even recording anything. It's been a long couple of weeks. So, I'm back. And hopefully I'll be back now every week with updates. If I don't come back this week, this next weekend coming up with an update, then it'll be the weekend after and they'll be consistent from there. So, that's kind of what I already talked about, so I'm going to try and start over again. Here in the background, you can see I'm flipping through the comic. This is the first time I've actually had the time to sit down and kind of flip through it and look for errors. I did flip through and kind of read some of the scenes that I had thought there were going to be problems with before, but now I'm actually looking for errors, and there are like a couple spelling errors, just two spelling errors, but it's just stupid errors that I just overlooked. So that's what I'm going over here now. Overall, the comic itself, the physical copy came out a lot better than I thought it was going to. I was really excited to see something that I've worked on for so long and put a lot of work into it that it was rewarding to see it in print. It's silly. I've seen lots of things that I'll not correct, but I'll look forward to not doing in the future. So it makes a really good reference for my future comics, which I'm glad. Like for example, the dialogue, it's actually pretty large. When I was doing it in the digital program, I thought it was going to be too small, but the dialogue is actually quite large. So I did go through and I found um, one of the speech bubbles in one of the other comments. I just marked it actually previously, where I'll start using that size. The problem is, well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest right now, it's going to seem like tacky ass crap, so sorry, but I actually don't have a program that allows me to directly type dialogue into what I'm looking at. I straight up copy and paste my dialogue from Microsoft Paint and put it straight into my art file, my program, which is Paint Tool Sci. I really like Sci. It's pretty cheap. I've used it for a long time. I'm very comfortable with it, which is why I was using it. And there was a brief period where I was thinking about going back to Photoshop if I was going to do this, but then Photoshop started acting scummy, so I'm not going to do it. However, I will continue to try to look for something that I can use, but like I said, I'm okay with doing it this way. I just needed to know exactly what font size would be acceptable. And this is helped out a lot because there is one in here, a dialogue in here that turned out pretty well, and I'll use that from here on out. So that was one issue. Word bubbles, um, went back and cleaned them up, and they look a lot better than they did before, but I'll still have to start working on those. Manga Studio, on going back to programs, was actually a pretty decent one, but I'll have to buy it again because it's been so long since I used it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to figure out that interface at this point. But that aside, the comic itself, I'm okay. I like the art. It's not perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. But the art printing to page actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. The colors seem off because of the CMYK printing, but that's not even a huge deal. So I like it. The quality is for what I was expecting, for what it is, the quality was not awful. The quality of my art, my skill level might be terrible, but the quality of printing from my program to paper is not bad, is what I'm saying. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm excited to see my comic in print. The dialogue, I'll fix that in the next issue. I am going to go by and correct all the things I'm marking here before I get to next week. My rush paycheck should be coming in next week, and once I've got everything paid off, I'll know how many copies I'll be able to make, and I'll let you guys know how many I get. If you have read the digital version from my Patreon, if you've been able to get it from there, let me know if you saw any spelling errors, grammar errors, or anything that, just leave it in the comments if there's something wrong. I got the couple twos that went on in here already, but if you have any criticisms, anything that would be useful, please let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. I don't actually have a lot of people who support me with this, so when asking them to I don't even ask them to read anymore. That's how much I feel like I've been supported, I guess, in my comic endeavors. Is whenever I've asked somebody to read something for me, they either don't do or I get kind of a shitty attitude. So I've stopped asking people around me. There is a friend of mine who I meet up with to get this stuff done and everything. he read it, but he didn't notice any errors or anything, or at least if he did, he didn't tell me, because I think he might be like, oh, trying to be too nice and doesn't want to hurt my feelings. But I'd rather make this good. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt if you see something that's off or weird. I've got dialogue at the end of the comic over the character that's not supposed to be there. That's not going to hurt my feelings to point that out. So if anybody's noticed anything off or anything in the digital copies, let me know. And if you have not been able to download the digital copy or been able to get to it, let me know that too, because I will try to figure out what I can do to get that fixed. So far, anybody who has done this, so they were able to get it through the Patreon account, so we'll go from there. I don't think there's anything else much to say. Just to recap, this is going to be my experimental issue, which is why I am giving out for free, so you guys don't have to pay for garbage. The dialogue, I'll get that corrected in the next issue, which is good because it gives me more space to work on the art, so it's not covering up all the art pages. I feel like it might have been a little invasive on some pages, but I didn't know how to fix that. I didn't know what I was working with, so that's good. The physical copies, hopefully I'll get them ordered next weekend, and hopefully it won't take as long as this one did, because I think the I know the Comic Con that the printer was working with, it's gone, it's done now. So hopefully the next order will be printed and shipped a little faster. Once I asked them about it, it shipped out the next day, and it came in within a day or two, so I was actually very proud of that. So I appreciate their efforts. So that's pretty much it. We'll keep you guys updated. Like I said, if I don't get an update next week, and which hopefully I will, I'll definitely start posting every weekend from after that out. Just depends on my work schedule. I think I'm going in circles now about this. If I missed anything, or you had any questions about any future comics or stories or whatever, just let me know in the comments, and I'll address it. I'll address it in the next video. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thanks for sticking around. Like and subscribe if you want to follow the adventures of Dum Dum and the author Dum Dum, who's trying to get this out. Maybe we can learn about the mistakes together, and if you plan on working on a comic in the future, maybe you can learn from my mistakes too, and I can tell you information that I've found out if you did have any questions in regards to printing and all that kind of stuff too. Thank you again so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.